Before the recession, the police department had roughly 290 allocated positions for sworn officers and now has about 230. Yet crime was still a huge problem in those days, even with more officers. For instance, the National Crime Insurance Bureau ranked the Modesto area first for car thefts in 2005, fifth in 2006, second in 2007, and first in 2008, the peak for the city budget. Does having more boots on the ground really reduce crime?
From my perspective, and it's a great question as a police chief, there's an absolute, as I said in my opening comments, a correlation between the number of officers on the street and not just our crime rate, but our fear of crime in our community, which is sometimes often worse than the crime rate itself. We can look at numbers and see who's victimized. We have that number. And I believe the police department put out a release today where they've studied some crime trends in Modesto over the last 5 or 10 years. And you're more likely to be a victim of crime in Modesto than you are above the state average. I understand, I haven't looked at the report in detail. But what's more concerning, I think, to the citizens of Modesto, and what's concerning to me as a police chief, when I heard the stories, anybody who's a crime victim, I felt sorry for them. But what was most alarming to me was when people would tell me, I don't go to the local park. I don't shop at night. I don't go anywhere without my husband or my boyfriend or my brother. I don't drive in Modesto. Because the fear of crime speaks to everyone's quality of life. If you don't shop, if you don't enjoy where you live, where you can recreate, so to speak, then your quality of life is damaged. And so the numbers tell you one thing, but the fear of crime, and by any objective measurement, I think this is a community that's reeling in crime and the fear of crime.
And,
Carol?
Yeah, I just want to say that I think one of the things is that the presence of a black and white in the neighborhood makes a difference. You know, I live across the street from Grayseta Park, and when there's a call, people respond quickly because that's an important public place. But it troubles me that the College Area neighborhood and the La Loma neighborhoods both feel that they don't see enough police presence to begin to have private security. And I think that trend in the city is a way that people have chosen to make up for the lack of city officers. And I think it's fine for people to want to have police protection and they're willing to pay for it, but I think it's a trend that is not healthy for the city. So I think the number and the visibility of officers, whether it's on campuses, in shopping areas, on our streets, or whatever, makes a huge difference in the community in terms of both prevention and perception. Besides which, if we don't do this, nothing changes. It gets worse. That's one of the things that we have to think about, is that this isn't a better or neutral, it's a better or worse scenario.
There's a theory, for the balance of the time, there's a theory in crime causation that's called the rational choice theory, that criminals commit crimes when it's easy to achieve. And by the presence of more black and whites, by the presence of more police officers, the fear of getting caught, of being seen, of being incarcerated, still serves as a deterrent in our community. And so the more police officers in our community, in our shopping centers, in our neighborhoods, can have a correlation between our crime rate. Absolutely. I'm absolutely convinced of that. But as Carol said, this is not a zero-sum game. If you're happy with the status of our city, then okay. But we can do something about it, and that's what this MeasureX offers.
Modesto Bee published salaries from 2005 to 2009 in the city of Modesto. City employee salaries went up $5.4 million every year during that 4-year period of time that I gave that to you. Our friends and neighbors to my right are assuming this is a tax about safety. It's not. It's a general fund tax. And the only guy who's got any authority to spend that money is the city manager, and that's in the city charter, and that is it is a demonstrable fact. The decisions of the past have put us where we are. It's management.
I would agree with the concept that more black and whites are a positive thing, and I think that's kind of been my thrust throughout this.